I'm Petunia the Poodle, and you're watching LPS 101, even though you probably already knew that because it says that in the title. Anyways, so it has been getting harder and harder to find the difference between real and fake LPS lately, so today I'm going to give you a few tips on how to do that. So first I'm going to split it into 3 levels of fakeness, I guess. So here is the first level. You can obviously tell that they are fake, and they're usually like way too hard or way too squishy. A lot of the colors are messed up, and they can sometimes be even really dirty. Here are a few examples. So here's the first example of one of the way too hard ones. As you can see, it's really hard. Even though I know you can't feel it, it is like really heavy and really hard. And it doesn't have a magnet here, and it doesn't even have a peg at all. And again, the colors are really weird. It has these weird looking eyes and a ton of eyelashes. Even though I think the real version has a ton of eyelashes too, I'm not sure. But the real version of it, the eyes definitely do not look like this. It is definitely not real, and you can probably tell that pretty easily. And since I have a lot of these really squishy ones, I'm going to show a lot of them because I do have a lot. So here's the first one. Like I said before, the colors are really messed up. I don't really know why they did this. They gave it like these really bright colors, and there are no real LPS that have these really bright looking colors like this. They have like this shape that's supposed to be on the magnet, but there's not actually a magnet there. So I thought that was pretty funny. And then the paint, like on his eyes, are like really smudged. It's probably harder to tell on camera, but they are really smudged. So here's the next one, the giraffe cocker spaniel. She's supposed to be a cocker spaniel, but she has an extremely long neck. I don't know why. She's taller than Petunia. She has a very long neck. Again, they chose really weird colors. She's like this bright red here, and then she's like this whole bright pink. And the colors on her eyes are like really smudged. Just like all the black paint is smudged in general. And then there's actually a hole on, like above her right leg there, or her left leg. But there's like a hole right above it, and I didn't even notice that until a few minutes ago, but there is a hole right there. So here's the next one. For a lot of these, it is like kind of messed up, like how her eyes were printed on, and then they're not like printed on quite where they're supposed to be there. There's like a gap there, and so it's like that for a lot of them. They're just like printed on wrong. And then this is one of the ones that's dirty because there's some dirt up there. On the back of a lot of them, there's this weird shiny stuff. I don't know why. And then this one, her head is like a completely different color than her body. It's a lot harder to tell on camera, but it is. And it doesn't have any magnet or peg or anything. It just has like no neck. And again, the really weird colors. And this one is really dirty too. It has a big smudge here and more shiny stuff on the back. So the next level of fakeness, I guess, are LPS that are pretty real looking, but you can tell that they're fake if you know how to tell that they're fake. A lot of times the markings are printed on and can be messed up, and the biggest difference between these ones and the real LPS is that they have a white peg. But wait, a white peg does not immediately mean that they are fake. There are some real LPS that have white pegs. Here are some examples. So here is the first example. He's this little Yorkie dog, I think. I'm not completely sure what kind of dog, but the point is that he has a white peg. It's probably really hard to see on camera, but his peg is white. I'll try to zoom in as much as I can. Yeah, I can't really show it on camera because it's really hard to zoom in that much, but his peg is white. And so you're probably wondering, well, how do I know if it's fake? How do I know it's not fake then? Well, the biggest way to know is because they have never made a fake version of this Yorkie, especially like the level 2 fakeness pets. They're usually just like really rare pets that they make fakes of, and this is not a really rare pet. So that is one thing to keep in mind, is that they've never made a fake version of this Yorkie. They usually just do it of like main 5 pets, or foxes, or sometimes like dragons and other really rare pets. But most of the time, if it's just like some random common pet, they've never even made a fake version of it before, so it's obviously going to be real no matter what. And here's the next one. It is a parrot with a white peg. This one you might be able to see the white peg a little easier there, and it also has a white peg, and it is real, again, because they've never made a fake version of a parrot before. Of course, they have made like fake versions of like the level 1 fakeness, where they're like obviously fake, but they've never made ones of like the level 2 one where they look pretty real looking, I guess. I hope I explained that well. But my point is that they've never made any fake LPS of these that are really realistic looking. So if there is a fake of these, they're probably gonna look really fake and you're gonna know that they're obviously fake. And these ones, you can obviously tell are real. I hope I explained that pretty well. I don't know if I did. But anyways, another way to tell that these LPS are fake is the gray magnet. Not all pets with gray magnets are fake, but if it has a gray magnet when it's supposed to have a red one, then it's fake. For example, if this cat had a gray magnet instead of a red one, then it would be fake because it is supposed to have a red one. A lot of the pets made in 2004 have red magnets, and a lot of the ones made in 2007 usually have gray ones. I'm not really sure about like in between, but I think most of the time if they're made in 2004 they should have red ones, and if they don't, then they're probably fake. Also, numbers on the bottom does not mean that they are fake. There are a lot of real LPS that have printed numbers on the bottom. Here's an example. So here's the first one. See, it does have like, here it says Hasbro printed on it, and then it has printed numbers on its feet. So just because they have printed numbers on them doesn't mean that they are fake. I know that this one is not fake because they have never made a fake poodle of this version before. And here's another one. It is a little snail and it has printed numbers on it. And again, I know that they've never made a fake version of a snail before, unless it's one of those like level 1 ones that are really, really fake looking. Another thing to keep in mind is that they did have a lot of printed numbers on the bottom of the mommy and baby set ones. So this one is part of the mommy and baby set. It's supposed to be the poodle that's a mom. But anyways, a lot of those ones usually have printed numbers on the bottom. The best way to tell though is that when you're buying them, if it says it's from China or Hong Kong and it says they have already sold like 200 or even 10 of the same thing and they're only like $5 each, they're probably fake because obviously there's no way they even have 200 of the same really rare pet and they're selling them for only $5 each. You can also read the reviews of the seller, even though of course you might be trading the pets from somebody instead of buying them, so it might be harder to tell if they're fake or not. Another really good way to tell if pets are fake or real is to compare them to a real LPS. Of course, it is best if you find two LPS that look pretty similar. So this is the fake one, this one with like the red markings on it. I think it's supposed to be like a cheetah, I'm guessing. And then here's the real one, is this yellow cat. So I'll try to get them as close to the camera as I can. So obviously this one has a white magnet and this one has a clear one, so that's one way that you can tell that the yellow one is the real one. And another really good way is to actually look at them, and the fake ones are a lot more smoother, and the real ones, especially the older ones, will be like more rough feeling. I don't really know how to describe them, but this one's like really smooth, and this one has like just a more rough texture to it. And then that's how the eyes are too. Like this one, the eyes look more printed on, and this one, its eyes kind of look more like hand painted, even though they're probably also printed on, but they do look more like they're actually hand painted. So here's another one. It's harder to tell on screen, but as you can see, the eyes are printed on, and there was like a little printing mistake there. There's kind of a gap there between her eyelash and her actual eye. So for a lot of the fake ones, there are like those kind of printing mistakes, and there will be some gaps in their eyes, or they might be a little bit off. Another really good way to tell is that the fake ones were made in a factory probably, and the real ones you probably got from someone else, and they were probably previously owned. And so as you can see, this one has a mark here, and this one has another mark here, and so these kind of fakes usually are in pretty good condition. So if they aren't in good condition, that's actually a good thing because it means that they might be real, because these kind of fake ones usually are in pretty good condition. So I forgot to mention this when I was comparing them, but another thing is that the ones that are fake usually don't have eyes that are very glossy, and the ones that are real usually have more glossy eyes than the fake ones. So the last level is the really real looking LPS, and they just recently started to make these, and the listings on eBay even say they are authentic pets even though they aren't, and they even have red magnets and clear pegs. So I'm going to try my best to explain these, even though it's really hard to even tell that they're fake because they are really real looking. So the best way to tell, again, is that if you're buying them on eBay and it says that they've sold like 2,000 of them already, and they're only selling for like $5 each. So here's the first one. As I said before, it's a lot more smooth than the real version of this one is. The real version of this one does have like a more rough texture, like some of them do. And so here are what the red magnets look like. And as you can see, they do look a little bit different. Like how this one has more of like an indentation around it. I don't really know how to explain it, but it kind of looks like you can see that there's a hole and that the magnet was put into it there. And this one, it's got more like smooth and sharp edges, I guess. And this one has more round edges, and it's just got like a lot softer edges. And the magnets do just look a lot different to me. Even though they're both red, they're a lot different looking. I don't really know how to describe it, but their magnets do still look different, even though they're both red. The white one was the real version that I was just comparing that orange one to, by the way, in case you didn't know that. I hope that was just clarifying that, I guess. Anyways, here's the next one. This one I don't have the real version to compare it to, unfortunately, but I do know that the real version, the paint here is like a lot more like faded out, I guess. This one just like looks printed on, and it's a lot cleaner and smoother looking. And that's how a lot of them are. They're just more like cleaner and smoother looking. And a lot of them just look like, I don't really know how to describe it, but they look a lot like softer, and I don't really know how to describe it, but the real ones do look different and more real looking. And again, like its eyes kind of look more printed on. It's a lot harder to tell, but like its eyes are like just really weird looking to me. The real ones have different looking eyes. Another thing is that if you have two fakes of something, they usually don't look exactly the same. I don't know why this is, but a lot of the fakes look very different from each other. Like this one has a very light fur and that one has a lot darker fur. And I feel like this one is like more real looking than the actual real version, and this one isn't as much. But they do look a lot different. So if you have two fake ones and they look a lot different, then they're probably both fake. So here is the last example, and these actually are the ones that I have a fake and a real version of. And so this one is the real one, and this one is the fake one. And so the biggest difference is that the fake one's eyes aren't quite glossy enough. It's harder to tell on camera, but the real version does have glossier eyes. They're like a lot shinier looking. I think you can tell on camera. Another difference is that that one has a hole instead of a magnet, and this one has a magnet. And just because it has a hole doesn't mean that it's necessarily fake. Again, like, you just have to know which pets are supposed to have which magnets, I guess. Let's see, so this one was made in 2006, and most of the pets that were made in 2006 did have gray magnets, so that's kind of the best way to know whether it's supposed to have a hole or a magnet. And then this is kind of hard to explain, but there's actually like a circle, there's actually a circle under her head. I don't really know how to explain it, but it kind of comes out a little bit. And then this one doesn't, it's more flat. And then right here you can see the lines of her body right here from like where it was made. And then this one you can't see the lines. So that kind of like fits into where I was like saying that these ones have like more cleaner, sharper edges, I guess. And these ones usually have more round edges, and they're more rough looking, and I don't really know how to describe it. But this one again does have like a more rough feeling, and this one has like this more clean and smooth feeling to it. And then another difference is that this one has a mark on the ear, the real one does, because I did actually buy this one used, so clearly someone has had it before and they've used it before, and usually the fake ones are not pre-owned, and so they will be a lot cleaner. Another way to know is that if you're buying them online and you're not sure if they're real or fake, if they end up giving you like extra pets by accident or less pets than they're supposed to give you by accident, they're probably fake. This one time I bought LPS from a fake seller, and they accidentally gave me 2 short hair cats, and they did not give me the bow that I ordered. And so like usually they won't just like have real rare pets just like sitting around that they accidentally give you. If they are a seller that does have real LPS, then they usually keep better track of their pets, since they just don't have like a bunch of fake ones that they're selling. I hope I explained that well. And now I will be telling you about fake accessories. Anyways, here's my example. You might not have known about fake accessories, but they do make them, and it is a lot harder, of course, to tell the difference between fake and real accessories because they are so much smaller. So the first difference, as you can see, is that there's like a little crease right here because it's really old and someone did use it, of course. I, again, bought this pre-owned, so somebody used it before me. And this one is very new looking, and so obviously nobody has used it before because someone just made a fake version of it in a factory probably. And then like right here you can see like this little line from where it was made, and this one doesn't have that. And then also the material here is a lot thicker, and so that's probably why the fake ones are so hard to put on your pets. That's another reason why they're fake, is because they're so hard to put them on the pets, and these ones are a lot easier. You will notice that it is a lot easier to put the real accessories on pets, and the fake accessories are a lot harder to put on pets. And then another thing, which is quite similar to that the material is a lot thicker, is that this one is like more clear looking. I don't really know how to describe it, but you can tell that the color on this one is definitely a lot more opaque, and this one isn't as opaque, I guess. And then right here, like I said before, it has these really sharp edges, and they're just like, again, really clean, sharp edges, and these ones are just more smooth, and I don't really know how to describe it, but the biggest difference is that the real ones do look a lot older, and these ones look newer, which isn't possible since they don't make these accessories anymore. Anyways, I hope that the video was helpful to you. I think those are all the tips that I had. Hopefully it was helpful. I felt like I kind of just like, it was jumping all over the place and pretty unorganized, but hopefully I did have some good tips in there for you. And if I didn't, you can always ask me some other questions in the comments, and I will try my best to answer them. Anyways, I think that's all, and I will see you in another episode of LPS 101.